Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the caster names are a bit messed up here, but that's okay. That's how it be sometimes. You get last-minute interjections, but regardless, that's not the problem today. Today, we are here to see Valorant Sugar Rush in their first streamed match of the year. This is week 2 for their division. As you can see, Division E Group 2. I'm not a big fan of the naming system. It really confuses me every time I go for all these ECAC teams, but it's fine. It's good enough, and that's what matters most. But yeah, we have Valorant Sugar Rush's second match of the season. Last week, they ended up winning their match. I can't remember who they played. I remembered up until the stream started, or until we switched to camera, that who they played.
So you just blanked all of a sudden?
I did blank a little bit. But if you would like, let's talk about the map set since we do have it here in front of us.
So we got Haven, Ascent, and Bind. Our team is going to be attacking on Haven and Ascent, and then it's going to be decided for Bind on map 3.
Yes, and that decision will be made by round differential. So if you're familiar with VCT and the Valorant Champions Tour in general, they don't do it that way. You pick a side in the bans. For some reason in Collegiate, that's not the case. In Collegiate, you just get it decided by round diff. I'm still really confused as to why that's the way, but like NACE, ECAC, NECC, that's just how it's done, and we don't get to pick that. We're not on the boards. There's a reason we're sitting here and not on the boards of every single like.
Yeah, there's a reason we're not up there.
Yeah, there's a plethora of reasons why we are not there. Unfortunately, because I did not know I was casting until about 5 minutes ago, I did not get any notes down today. But as far as I know, I have some prior experience casting Adrian when I was at LVC, my previous, or where I went to go for my undergrad. So I vaguely know, but that was also like 2 years ago, and their entire roster is probably different, if not almost most of it certainly has to be different at this point.
And our roster is also different.
Yes, exactly. Our roster is completely different.
Yes. Not going to talk about our roster from last semester, but we do have our Sugar Rush team. If you don't know, they were our Valor Academy team with some few changes, a few add-ins. So it's kind of the same team, but it's like I don't know, what elo is this?
I actually don't know. I have asked before, but I don't remember the answer to that.
I don't know. It's different between like the divisions you're in, not like this division, but like NACE and ECAC, like it's different. So I'm not 100% sure myself, but I know our team is at least like somewhere gold.
Yeah,
gold in that area.
Maybe diamond. I don't know.
I think Cookie is close to being plat, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, we have a whole plethora of people on our team, different elos.
Of Cookie, we should mention that she will not be playing tonight, as I believe she has labs on Tuesdays. So like, the scheduling doesn't line up. The stars align in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
So I believe she's also the captain of the roster, I'm assuming. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, she's the captain.
So unfortunately not playing with the captain tonight, but that's same thing happened last week, I'm pretty sure. So this team is already kind of used to it. And they also won 2-0 last week. I remember the scores were pretty drastic. It was like 13-7, like 13-5 or something.
Yeah, like they won pretty. They
won pretty well. Yeah. So definitely something to look forward to here. Adrian is also sitting at 1-0. They also 2-0'd last week. I didn't get to see the map scores. The ECAC website's really weird with their navigation, so like I didn't get a chance to see like the scoreboards and everything. But I do know that they won pretty decently, I'm assuming. This Adrian team definitely decent from what I remember, which could be information that literally has no meaning right now.
Yeah,
that's all I really have to go off.
Yeah. But it's good to. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this team plays because we haven't seen them play at all. I don't think we haven't streamed them this semester, have we?
No, this is their second match of the season as well. So we only had one opportunity. It was last Tuesday when we streamed League of Legends.
Yes.
Which I guess that's kind of something to mention now while we're sitting here, stream schedule wise. On Tuesdays, of course, you're seeing Valorant tonight. Next week, you will see League of Legends in their NACE match, and then we'll kind of just alternate between League of Legends and Valorant. Ideally, we'll have both teams play on stream a good bit, and it'll just be alternated. So next week will be League of Legends, then the following week will be Valorant, and so on and so forth. You kind of get the idea.
Yeah, we alternate, just like how it was last semester where we alternated. It's going on this semester. It's fun to see our schedule this semester and how now Rocket League is Mondays only, and then Tuesdays is League of Legends and Valorant, and then Wednesdays is COD.
Yes.
And does that alternate? I thought we did fighter games, or was that like the first week?
So the first week we did it because COD didn't have. The first couple of weeks we did fighting games because they didn't have matches. But we are streaming COD pretty much for the rest of the semester now.
So Wednesdays are COD days,
Yes.
Thursdays are
Madden
days, and then Fridays.
I think it's Overwatch for SEC, at least for this month.
Yes.
This week actually is when SEC starts. We have the first Overwatch SEC match of the season.
I didn't know that.
Valorant only has 2 total matches in SEC, which is really weird. But I know that league is like still kind of gathering teams together, getting everything situated. So there's not a whole lot going on. But those matches are actually scheduled for Tuesdays at 7 p.m., which is when ECAC matches are scheduled. So those will likely be rescheduled. I don't know what days, but either way. Now we are into the map bans, and I see Cookie in there. So
Maybe she's in.
I guess I was wrong. I thought Cookie was not playing, but apparently so.
I guess so. This is Haven. A really good option for Haven is to have a Sova. He's probably one of the best. I think what's his role? It's not a sentinel. It's not an initiator. It is.
It's initiator, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, because controllers are smokes. Yes, he's an initiator. He's the best initiator on this map. In my opinion, people probably agree as well, as there are 2 Sovas we see on the screen.
With all the lineups for the sonar arrows, it's unquestionable.
You can definitely see there's also a meta for this map.
Yeah, Haven's one of the maps that's been in the game since launch, if I remember correctly. So it's realistically going to be one of those maps that has the very defined meta. You're going to see that as well in our second map on Ascent. It's going to be a similar story.
Yes.
I mean, that's the tough thing with some of these maps. They've been in the game so long, you just kind of like know who you're playing.
Yeah, and I remember when this map came back into the map pool, and everyone was super excited about it because Haven was some of players' favorite maps.
Yeah.
And I have to agree, even though there are 3 sites, it is such a small map that it can really just work really well.
Absolutely. Also, our overlay is switched. Those are backwards, but that is purely me setting things up. So that's how it be. As you'll see Sunny get revealed by that bolt really early on. Basically at the rip of the round, there's going to be 2 players pushed up through that mid window. That is so fast. Moonkeeper going to find Sunny for first blood. And that was near immediate now. The plant going down on the opposite side of the map over towards A. It's going to have to be a strong retake here from Adrian, but they do have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, it seems that Killjoy Lurk was not what they needed, and they probably should have backed off a little bit quicker than that. But as we see our Jet go down, Clueless Cookie getting a kill off of that Sova, and the other team getting a double kill Omen.
And from what I saw there, it was basically just a 1-2 pinch, one from the T side of A and the other side from CT side of A. And there was 2 players on each side. Pure pinch in, and it was as simple as that. That retake was beautiful from the side of Adrian. They're going to take round number 1.
Hopefully our Killjoy can get a quicker rotate than that one being discovered off of that Sova dart. That definitely did cause the big disadvantage in the beginning of the round. And then as you can see, when they were on that A site and they did get pinched, like you said, that probably was not the best option to hold that so hard. They probably should have backed up a little bit. Once you get the spike down, you can back off. There is no point in holding an angle so hard.
And something else I noticed there's a lot of players just standing in the open. That is not ideal, obviously, when you're trying to hold the spike, but at the same time, they did not get much time to move. It was almost immediate on that pinch, and now you're going to see all the way into the backside of B. That not going to be found out until 2 kills go through. Looking for the 3rd headshot, won't come in, but still makes it a 2v3. Spike is down, this time over towards B. Stellar and Evan, though, going to combine for the last 2, and Adrian going to get that 2nd round, but they do lose a couple of players.
Hey. It was a pretty good round out of Adrian. They were able to retake that pretty quickly, even though Mochi was able to get the round or the spike down. That did give Southern Miss some points, but not enough. It was just a really good retake.
Absolutely, and that might be the story of today, as we've already seen two very strong retakes from Adrian in rounds 1 and 2, but now we do head into the bonus, so we'll see what Southern Miss is able to get done here. It's looking like it's going to be another push over towards that A site.
Looking like it. Looking like it. I love the Killjoy setup that is set up on C, where you have the turret going down C long, and then you have all of her swarm grenades in garage. It really just prevents people from trying to push that site, and I love it.
And that site is already kind of hard to get into to begin with. I mean, you have to get so much control of garage and then go down the treacherous C lane that is treacherous for a reason.
It's so hard to get over there. But it looks like Adrian, yes, Adrian is actually pushing really hard over into the side of Southern Miss, and they are Southern Miss going over to C side, trying to get a push here. We're going to get a smoke off from Mochi, trying to block off some vision, but Sova is on site and is getting a drone off and catching Mochi coming in. Can she get this kill here? We are unaware, and she doesn't. I don't know. We kind of went off of that camera there. But Southern Miss is on the side of C. We're getting down in garage, which is crazy enough. But we have two people from Adrian going on through their side to see if they can get the defuse.
Is a 2v3 here for the side of Adrian, or in the favor of Southern Miss. That's going to be 3 kills on the round for Evan. Now 1v1. Jiggling back and forth, 22 HP, not a lot to work with. You're going to see a little ring around the rosy now as slowly but surely these players just running in a circle. Keeper going to just barely get that kill before Chris can walk past the next side of the block. And it'll be round number 3 and a huge bonus round win for Adrian.
Yes, that's a great round from them. Adrian was able to kind of hold off before they pushed on together because it was a 3v2. Southern Miss had the site secured. They had the spike down, but Adrian was able to group up and rotate pretty good and get 2 kills off. And unfortunately, our breach wasn't able to get that kill.
That's a huge round for Evan as well on the side of Adrian. 3K in that round, I believe. So definitely someone to look out for as we continue through. But 3-0 scoreline, Adrian having a good start.
Yeah, especially with their, what's it called? Their money, the creds. They're at high creds right now, so them is very low.
Speaking of Evan, on this other side with Ken, maybe a 1v2 there as I missed the player behind Ken, but regardless, no health taken from either side, and never mind, there goes Evan finding Cookie. That's a big first blood again. That's especially the Sova player down. Now you have Mochi out, no more smokes left to go. 2v5 so early on in the round. Adrian looking like they're going to make it 4-0.
We got a duelist, we got an initiator, and we got a sentinel. That is enough to get a sight down, but can they do it? That's the real question. Are they going to rotate, or are they just going to stay here? Who knows? Southern Miss is looking like they're going to rotate over to the C site. They're going to flash through garage, hoping to catch anybody off guard. No one's there but KJ's equipment. Setting it off, they have to back up.
And this is such a tough spot for Southern Miss. Not only are they down 2 players, they also just don't have the weapons to really retake much of anything. I mean, you're seeing a Bulldog as your best weapon, the other 2 players having a Sheriff. Saying that, Sunny will get taken down now at 2v5, and this is surely going to be a round for Adrian unless a national catastrophe happens. Evan finding a second, looking for the third, and will get it. Flawless for Adrian, now 4-0. Flawless in the game score as well.
I like Adrian not rotating too hard so fast in that round. You could see that when they got those 2 kills off of Southern Miss, that they stayed where they were supposed to. Killjoy was still on C holding it down, and 2 people were on B, and then those, was it Omen and Jet was staying on the A site. They were holding it down, no over-rotating. It was just a good round out of Adrian.
And for the side of Adrian, you're going to see a Blade Storm out from the Jet, and you're also going to have an Earth Shatter from the Breach. So those are 2 things that are very key in these next few rounds. Realistically, they probably won't even need to use them. They could, but they don't really need to, especially considering this, not only the scoreline, but the credit situation. Especially if Southern Miss lose this round, then they are in deep, deep trouble in terms of credits. You're seeing Vandals out and probably Phantoms from the entire squad, but this might be their make or break round, at least for the next few.
Yeah. It sees that Southern Miss is holding off from pushing on anything until they get a clear view of where people are at. But Sunny gets the Omen down. That's a one good pick that has them in an advantage, but are they going to push, or are they just going to see if they can get more intel? That's really the big question. We have our Jet and our Breach rotating over to the side of A. Breach has Spike, so it seems like they're going over to A site for a plant.
That might be the first blood for Southern Miss in this game. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it is. It's a huge opener for Southern Miss. Only one player on both C and A. You're seeing it get C get droned out from Cookie, but what information was really gathered there is the Jet on Adrian's side will back away from A. It's going to give some space now to Southern Miss, something that they've struggled to get really this entire game outside of that first round. And now that will allow the spike to go on down. And here comes the Earth Shatter. Evan going to find one. Evan having a game right now, finds a second, forces everyone from Southern Miss off the site. Now they can realistically even go for this defuse if they really wanted to. They don't need to at the moment, but slowly they will run out of time. Evan now going to push through. Cookie not able to find the kill. 3. Evan almost has that 4K. Would have been disgusting, but now it is a 1v3 for Chris. Is there much that they can do? No. That's going to be another defuse and another round for Adrian.
That was a really good retake. Evan was able to get those good picks off of Southern Miss, the 3 good kills, and then unfortunately dying from our Breach. But they were able to rotate. The Sova Dart was really needed to show where our Breach was sitting and standing at, so they were able to peek that corner knowing where they were at and what side of the lane they were in. Is that the best way to describe it?
And that Earth Shatter comes in very clutch for Adrian. Really forces the players of Southern Miss to back off the A site, and that makes the retake infinitely easier to deal with, especially when you know where everyone's at, and even I think 1 or 2 players end up getting stunned by it. So I mean, that's not necessarily a free kill, but it's nearly a free kill at that point.
It's not the worst ult. That wasn't the worst ult that I've seen from like a Breach, but it was something that did, like as you said, back them off.
Now you're going to see a Blade Storm out from Southern Miss, really just trying to dig deep into the bag of tricks, but Chris will fall to the opposing Breach, so it's already a 4v5, and that's the problem we've seen in a lot of these early rounds. So many picks going the way of Adrian, getting caught there if you're Mochi. Sunny gets 1 back, but the rest of the team is falling around them. 2v4, at least a gun in the hands of 1 player, but how much can you realistically do now? It's going to be Cookie, by the way, the one with the Vandal. Sunny backing them up. No shots will go. Prism going to find both, and that's a 6-0 score count for Adrian.
Wow. This is a rough half for Southern Miss. They're not able to find any good advantages, and if they even get close to getting the spike down or getting the spike down, Adrian can come in and just like retake it so easily.
And you're going to see a timeout called by Southern Miss. I'm a fan of that decision. You've gone down a lot at this point, so you kind of need to have that timeout. Take a second, just kind of talk things over. And realistically, there's not a whole lot that they're doing wrong per se. It's just they're not giving themselves a chance to get out of the gates with a round victory or with basically anything. They're getting first blooded every single round. There's only been 1 round where they didn't get blooded, and that's a huge key to the rest of this game.
Yeah, for right now, what I really see out of them is they're not playing super confidently. They're just backing off, or they're playing too overconfident, and Adrian is just coming in with a really good like retake. And I think that Southern Miss just needs to play at their comfort level. They're playing too hard. They're playing either too hard, too soft, and that's just really is what their downfall. And especially with their eco being so low right now, saving is just what they need to do. And like that round where Cookie was able to get that gun, that's so good for them, but they just couldn't get anything off of it.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean much if you get the gun and then just die with it immediately. It's not going to help you a whole lot. As we are now back into the game, round number 7 coming your way. We'll see what USM has made adjustment-wise. I do see a Killjoy trying to get through Garage, but there's going to be a Sova backing them away. What's the first blood? It's going to be Prism. Again, Adrian getting that first blood. That has been the story of map number 1. Who can get the first blood? And even when Southern Miss has, they still have not been able to come out with the round victory.
As you can see, there's still Adrian is still split all over the map, just staying, not over rotating. Probably for the best. Adrian knows where Southern Miss is at, but they're not over rotating to prevent a good kill off of Chris here to Prism. But like I was saying, over rotating can just do so much harm.
That is a necessary trade, but this corner is not going to get checked. And sorry to cut you off there. I want to call
No,
that
you're
before
fine.
it happened. Moonkeeper going to find one and back down two. They don't get traded. That is huge for Adrian. That trade needs to happen, but ultimately it will not. The spike is at least in the hands of Cookie, but there's going to be a lot of work to do to clear the rest of this site to make sure that spike can go down. And actually, Adrian will just back off, play the retake. They know they have a lot of rounds to give, but good look on the flank from Ken. Takes down Tida, and that's going to be a massive pick. Now they know they only need to focus in front of them, but that's still going to be a challenge. Evan with the op. Managed to find one, and Moonkeeper with a triple.
Moonkeeper was so low. That would have been a good round at a Southern Miss if they were able to kill that breach.
And it could have come down to that operator player who might have just backed away after missing if the first shot would have whipped. So that could have been a huge round win for Southern Miss, but Moonkeeper ends up making the round theirs in terms of, or at least for Adrian.
Yeah.
And now you're going to see this op go over towards C long, where it's primarily going to get its most usage from. We'll see what ends up happening there. If really it means anything, is if you look at your mini map in the top left, you can see Southern Miss going to be going over towards the A site once again. They like what they saw there last round. They're going to again look to fight it.
I'm hoping we see the Killjoy not lurk here. It looks like she's possibly going to do that, but every time Killjoy has lurked on our team, she's unfortunately gotten picked off. So I'm hoping maybe Killjoy can kind of join the team for a good team fight here, just to get around, just so they know that they can have a team fight. But it seems like they're actually two players are going to go mid to see if they can catch anybody off guard. Protecting the Killjoy is probably the best option here.
And it's looking like the rotation was originally go to A, but then they've swapped to B, and now swapping back to A. You can see Chris with the spike in the middle of the map, just kind of waiting for the rest of the team to decide where they wanted to go. And you can see that drone gets a lot of intel on the site. That's going to be Stellar, the only person that can make a play for the time being. Now, again, allowing for that spike to go down. Adrian are going to need a retake. First blood has gone to Southern Miss, so finally they're getting another one on the board. This could give them perfect timing to win this round. Chris gonna find a second, so that's huge. Now Southern Miss finally slaying out. It is a 2v5, and that realistically should be round for Southern Miss. On the flank though is Tida. How many kills are they gonna get? Moonkeeper finds a second, so 2v3, now a winnable situation, but for how long?
Oh, I hope he's not just gonna sit in that smoke. I pray he's not gonna sit in that smoke. Oh, this is an interesting pick. Either Adrian can go in at the exact same time, or they can just not push it and just,
and it looks like that's going to be the play. Moonkeeper picks up that op, and now how many is Tida going to find though? Because Tida's in a very sneaky spot. Yikes. And that will be everyone on Southern Miss falling. So despite winning the round, they have to rebuy every single weapon.
Yeah, it was a good round. They were able to just get the spike to go off, and that was really good for them, as they do have a little bit more money this round. But dying with a weapon is not really good if you just won. So it was a good round out of Adrian. I will say they did play really well, waiting to see if anyone would peek out of that corner with that breach in the operator, and then Tida holding the... What's the spot over here called?
I'm just going to call that CT side of A.
Yeah, I'm going to say like holding that spot was probably good as well for them.
And Southern Miss, I mean, I even saw some of the buys. Like, you can see a Ghost, a Bulldog. They won a round, but it's not helping them a ton in terms of their economy. If they can start stringing together a few rounds here, then that'll be a big help. But really no one on Southern Miss able to buy. They're going to be saving for the following round, and you're going to see that reflected in their gameplay. They're going to rush into the guns of Adrian, and that's going to help them a lot here. At least gets them a kill and get some space on C. Space is all you can ask for in a comp like this when you don't have weapons. Spike has now been planted. Adrian has to make a play, but Moonkeeper doing just that, finds a second in the round. That one onto Cookie. And now you have a 4v2. You can start collapsing onto this. Phantom in the hands of Mochi, though. Gonna get a shot through the smoke. Evan pops the Blade Storm, but this flank could be huge. But great shot from Evan. rips the head off of Mochi to clutch out the round.
What a
They're now
great
8-1.
That's a great round out of both of the teams because they were able to get the spike down. They were at a very good advantage, but unfortunately that retake out of Adrian, we can just tell that retake is really their strong suit here. I'm so glad that Southern Miss is not popping any unnecessary ults. I have seen a lot of unnecessary ults, and I've done unnecessary ults, and right now they need to save these ults for when it's absolutely necessary.
And that strategy from Southern Miss last round was very smart. They did exactly what they needed to. I mean, that's how they got the spike down, but that weapons disadvantage just came in heavily towards the end. So everyone on Adrian having a Phantom or a Vandal, I mean, it's just so tough to combat regardless of the situation. And that's realistically what's the main thing that's going to give them that round. But a lot of ults available for Southern Miss now. They're going to have 4 of the 5. Only one that's not available is the Blade Storm from Ken. So realistically, they can start making some plays around these ultimates too. As long as they are smart about it, they can at least get a couple more rounds before they head into the defensive side.
I don't think we heard it, but we just got an Omen ult out of Adrian, I think.
Actually, that was out of Southern Miss. As you can see, 3 kills coming in for Southern Miss. Spike now planted. That is a massive ultimate from Southern Miss, and that's what's giving them that position. That's what gave them the sight. I just can't imagine the players of Adrian even expecting that. And it's just going to be a save out of Adrian. They're not even going to try to push this. Great work from Southern Miss. They're going to get their second round on the board.
We actually did get an ult out of Adrian. In the beginning of the round, you saw that Adrian, their Omen, was right there in that corner. I noticed it and I was like, is that our
That's
Omen?
a really interesting ult.
But I guess that gave them a good bit of intel knowing that, hey, Southern Miss is right here on C Long. I didn't notice it until I was like, oh, we're kind of down one ultimate over here. But
and unfortunately for Adrian, that information can only take you so far.
Yeah.
And you're getting stunned so badly you can't really move.
I think, oh, what was that?
Shot down, but no one really taking damage from it.
Omen got a little scared there. But this is, I don't know how to describe this. They're both playing so well. It's just unfortunate that Southern Miss is getting caught off guard, and they need to use their util just maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of util being bought from Southern Miss, but just kind of hanging out and not really being used. And that's also partially probably because we can't hear anything. That's probably a little
kind
bit
of true.
We, as in the casters, to have no game audio. I hope you guys have game audio by this point, but the casters, we cannot hear audio, so there's a chance that alt or util is being used and we just don't see it. And if we do miss an alt, that would be why.
That is, we apologize. But it seems like we're getting a rotate from Adrian. They're going over to A or B, it seems like, with our
You're gonna
jet.
see the lockdown be used by USM as well, and it's going to get destroyed. So you're not really getting anything out of that. And it looks like it was just to bait out all of Adrian over to A.
Yeah.
So this attack could go over to C. It's just going to be a bit of a bait and switch. Number 4 up there, the jet, waiting to push through the back spawn. Prism, though, will find first blood again onto Sunny, but I see a pinch possibly forming for Mochi. Does find one off of it. Both killjoys will be down. Shots aren't connecting for anybody, though, as Prism finds a third on the round. Cookie really going to be the big point of emphasis here on this site. Mochi only 18 HP. They're going to have to find Cookie, though, because you can see that Sova ultimate is right in their hands, and that should be able to clinch the round out as long as it gets used wisely.
I was just about to point out, good kill off of Mochi killing Evan. That's actually really big for them. But right here, let's hope that Cookie can pop this ult. But like I was saying earlier, the Killjoy ult being destroyed by that Sova ult really is what messed them up, Adrian, this round, because they didn't have any way to retake, and that Sova ult would have done wonders down C Long.
Absolutely, and I believe this is the last round of the first half, if I know how to...
Oh my.
If my math is correct.
Look at the scoreboard.
And it is 8-3. We could see... Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
17-5 from Moonkeeper and 14-4 from Evan. 2 players just ripping right now. You're also going to see that lockdown available from Stellar, and Cookie still has the Sova ultimate, so abilities out. Not really many, or at least ultimate-wise, for either side. There's not much you can do. My guess would be if the spike gets planted in this round, you're going to see a lockdown almost instantaneously to force those players off the site. But right now, you're seeing Evan peeking through the back, and Taida may have the flank here.
Hopefully Cookie doesn't
And
get
it's
caught
looking
off
like they're going
guard.
for blind. It doesn't, I mean, the flank didn't even matter. Only one kill, and that player was weak. Evan, really, it's the blind that does the most damage. Moonkeeper finds Sunny, and that round is over almost as quick as it started. Ken in a 1v5. I have seen them before, but they come a dime a dozen. So very, very
One,
rare. And
two.
2 kills going the way of Ken. Not over quite yet. Now you have a Blade Storm. But Spike, you need to go grab it, and it is in a long.
It is locked down by this Jet and Omen, and Killjoy's kind of just chilling out, making sure no one comes onto this site.
And as long as both of those players from Adrian stay there, the round is over because they are playing across, and unless if someone misses every single bullet, there's not a chance that those players lose this gunfight. There's the lockdown. That is a crazy lockdown.
He
but
has to know where she is at.
And there it is. 9-3. Will there be a curse?
Oh, yes. There's always a curse. There's always a curse. But here's the easier side of
Haven.
yes. No, that's not what I was trying to say.
Oh.
This is the easier side of Valorant defending.
Yeah, in general. Yeah.
In general,
That's
defending is very easy, and Southern Miss is not defending. And let's see if they can defend well. That's the really big question. They were playing really well. They were able to get those 3 rounds out of their attack side. So it just really, it depends on all this. Can they come back from this?
And realistically, I'm going to say it's determined by this round. This round will set the pace for the rest of the half. That's kind of standard with pistol rounds. They usually just kind of do that. That's their nature. That's why they exist. But we'll have to see what Southern Miss decides to go for. And it looks like they're going to be stacking mid. Just 3 players dashing down mid. It's going to be a bang out. Mochi finds first blood, and all of the players of Adrian stuck in spawn, but Ken's going to need to pick up this kill, and will do just that. So the USM setting the pace, and it's already going to be a 5v2.
And they know, Southern Miss knows where Adrian is at. They are on C site, and they have spikes, so all they have to do is just go rotate and get a good defend off of this.
Prism tried to go for the fake plant, but there's so much to look out for if you're Evan. Prism falls to Chris with a triple, and that is round 1. The pistol going the way of Southern Miss.
My favorite part of a round ending is the swarm of weapons on the ground and everyone just running towards one.
Especially when there's a good skin on the ground.
Exactly. I saw someone pick something up and I was like, okay, what skin was that?
If I see a VCT champion skin, I'm sprinting across the map to make sure I grab it from everyone else. That is mine. I'm picking it up.
I have the new it's like the girly gun and it has the little guy on the top.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know the name of the bundle, but I have the Vandal and it's so cute.
Mochi again ripping a first blood with gun I haven't seen in so long. I forget the name.
What? I missed it. They're planning down onto
The
B
Guardian.
side.
That's what it is.
There
The Guardian finds a second, looking for the third, but Chris is there to support. And now Southern Miss trying to get on a roll here. Prism, though, will at least tame the aggression for now. But you're still, again, down to a 42 shots through the smoke.
Come on,
Shots
Mochi.
in the dark. As we'll finally find that kill, and that's all of the attackers down. Defuse comes through. Now 5-9.
I told you this is the best part of Valorant and the easiest part of Valorant. And it's becoming very apparent as we just got 2 rounds in the span of how many seconds?
Exactly. Something I would like to question from Adrian. You know Southern Miss has just rushed up mid for 3 straight rounds. Why are you pushing B? There are 2 other sites that you can go to. I just question that decision when you know exactly where they're going.
It is a very questionable decision, but just like how you don't know what's going on the other side of this, the other side of the map, they just don't know.
Exactly.
They maybe they thought, oh, they probably went to this site now. Nope, they're staying in the exact same spot.
Adrian now looking, you're gonna have a big split push here. You see the Sova in the bottom left corner of the mini map. They're gonna be the one with the spike, and looking towards C long. That is Prism, holding on to it. Has sonar arrow, but likely will not use it at least right now. Just waiting for any possible information that could come through. I see the drone of Cookie is gonna at least spot one. That's gonna be Evan, who gets pinged up by the dart.
We see no over-rotating as we only saw one person on that side of A.
In comparison to the rest of the game, this is such a slow round. Creeping up a secret in the on the ADS from Cookie, just bad timing. Evan will quick peek and get Ken. So now Cookie needs to back away, just try to get intel on these players. Chris finds one, Sunny finds another. So 3v3, it's gonna have to be a retake if you are Southern Miss.
Let's see what Southern Miss util they have. Cookie has some shock darts. I don't know what the other two might have, but this could be a good round out of them. I'm hoping Cookie getting one, Cookie getting two. It's a 2v1. The Sova on the side of Adrian is trying to hold the site as hard as he can, but they know where he's at. So
it's gonna be a very tough defuse. As actually that player ends up dying. Cookie ends up dying onto the defuse. Had such minimal HP that shock arrow is gonna do enough damage. Now shots aren't clean on the retake. Clutch from Prism. That's a 1v2.
That's a good round out of Prism there. Util is so important in the game, and that's just a prime example of how good util can be. Those shock darts killed Cookie, and then just getting the weapon and killing is really what sets it in stone.
I mean, just a huge round for Adrian. That also stops the bleeding a little bit. If you lose that round, if you're Adrian, I mean, you're kind of worrying a little bit now. You've lost 3 rounds in a row. Some teams, that's when they'll pop the timeout. I don't know if this early in the half that would have made sense, but regardless, it was something that would definitely be in the back of their minds. And now you have a bit more of an even round 4 here in this half, and you also are at 10. So you're getting closer and closer to taking this game and kind of keeping it not really that close.
Yeah, and especially since we know how Adrian plays, and that hold out of that Sova was really good. And now that they have better weapons this time around, this might just be a great half or a great round out of both teams.
My question is going to be, does Tida know Sunny's here in this close corner?
No.
Checks, but very, very late. So that's going to be a free headshot for Sunny. And now the C site going to be left to go as Adrian now pushing onto A. Looking to go through long. One player sent through short. There's the drone. Now might be a counter drone from Prism through the smoke. Actually, it won't be. Evan's going to find Cookie through the wall. Push goes through. Moonkeeper takes down a second. Mochi at least evens the odds, but the spike should get planted here, and it does just that. Now, Mochi just trying to find anything through, but Moonkeeper stays home. That's going to be a triple for Moonkeeper. Finally gets cut down, but it's a 2v1. Sunny has a lot of work ahead of them. Only a Sheriff, and it won't quite be high noon. 11-5, Adrian.
Wrong game. Wrong game.
Not.
It's high noon. What's that one skin where he has the pool party on and he's like, it's high tide.
Yeah. I don't know what that skin's called, but I just call it the beach skin.
It's the beach skin.
22-10 from Moonkeeper, 19-8 from Evan. Not to scoff at Prism too, sitting at 13-10. Just great performances from the side of Adrian. They are taking over here in map number 1. Again, we do have map number 2 on Ascent to look forward to. That is the Southern Miss pick. So Adrian taking over on their map pick, and you're seeing why they picked it.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the best maps, and it definitely can get confusing at times with the amount of sites there are and how it's kind of abnormal, but it's a good map.
I do see Mochi starting to push on up through the middle of the map. That might catch you off guard, and it does just that. Mochi gonna find one, can't grab the weapon, but gonna get the kill. Good work from Mochi to recognize the space was available and taking it. But you're going to see now Moonkeeper looking to clear it. Checking all the corners. Mochi might go double dip for a second, but needs to just be careful here. Knows the weapon disadvantage is in the favor of Adrian. And it's looking like it'll be a C push now for the side of Adrian.
Yes, Adrian has 2 ults right now. There's a Breach ult and there's a Sova ult, and they can do anything with that, especially if they want to site so bad.
Evan gonna take down Chris, but again, Mochi finding an equalizer. But how many can Mochi realistically pull off? Moonkeeper makes it now in favor of Adrian, especially that kill from Stellar. Now a 2v3.
Stellar is very, very low, and it's kind of just a 2v1 right now, as Stellar did back off. We're getting some good util out of Adrian, and hopefully some better util out of Cookie, and that gets one. But can she get the breach? Can she get some util out of her? Let's see what happens here.
Cookie gonna continue moving forward, just trying to find this player on site. Huge kill. Now a 1v1 with very minimal HP is Stellar. You can see the crosshair. Perfect from Cookie, but will that defuse come in? It's going to be very, very
It's going to be so close, but it's going to happen.
It will happen. 1.46.
Good clutch.
A lot more time than I realized. I thought it was going to be like 0.4, but regardless, that's another round for Southern Miss. They needed that one desperately. That would have been match point.
I know they're fist bumping. I know they're fist bumping.
Surely.
That's a great round out of Southern Miss. Cookie getting that clutch is really, really, really good for them. Like I said, the util out of Cookie there was really important. She knew where that breach was. She was able to kill that Sova in the corner. And then, of course, that Killjoy being low was just the icing on the cake for her.
And you're going to see now 3 ultimates in the back pocket of both teams. But I was actually trying to point out Southern Miss there. I didn't see the other 3 had them as well. But regardless, you're going to have some good defensive ones if you are Southern Miss. I just watched Killjoy turret get tossed like it was a piece of paper.
It's so fun. I love it. I love it, Bridgel.
Already C is fully pushed out. And actually, I believe that was an ultimate from the side of Adrian. You're going to see that Earth Shatter come through. I don't think it's called an Earth Shatter, but that's what I'm going to call it. Sunny going to find first blood, though. So Southern Miss with the numbers advantage. Not for very long. Trade will come in. The weapons, though, I believe equal. I think Sunny was the only one that didn't really have a good weapon. As now, you're seeing the Killjoy U2 get caught out. Chris finds Moonkeeper, and 3 players from Adrian all backed up into that cubby. Diffuse is just coming through, and there's not much that you can see be done. Finally, the Sova ult will come in, but it is at half, so a little bit less time to defuse if you're Southern Miss, and all the shots smoke finally connecting. All of the kills will come in. 12-6, 1 round away for Adrian to take map number 1. Wait,
I haven't died.
It also blew up. I didn't know that.
I saw what Southern Miss was trying to do there. They were trying to body block so that Cookie could get that diffuse off, but it kind of just didn't go in their favor once that smoke go down.
Stack, and also, when the smoke goes down, you don't get much of a chance.
Yeah, I saw the envisionment. I knew that there was a Sova ult coming out, and it kind of just went downhill after that Sova ult.
If you're Southern Miss, you have ultimates here. You need to use them. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean just throw them out there, but you need to be using at least 1 or 2 of them here. You don't really have great weapons. You don't have great You don't have great buys. You also don't have man advantage.
Yeah. We're down 1 player, and we got a 5v4. It seems like they're going to try to push through B. Mochi getting killed. Cookie rotating over, doing an ult through garage, getting 1, not able to get another shot off.
And Evan just doing it all. Finds 3 kills there. It's kind of a kill race with Moonwalker, to be honest with you. Evan finds the 4th, looking for the ace. That's going to be Ken, the last player alive, and another chance at a 1v5 with a Sheriff. The odds aren't great, but they're not 0.
Yeah, if I was Ken, I would try my hardest. This is the last round. This is match point. So Ken has to do something here if they want to continue this map.
You also have Spike planted. It's just not a great situation.
Did they...
Definitely spotted that player, but there's so many people in front of you. It's going to be Moonkeeper finding the last, a flawless to close out game number 1. That's going to be Adrian going up 1-0.
Hey, good round out of both teams, or good map out of both teams, I should say. That last round was crazy. That last round was crazy out of Evan.
And I can't quite see the stats from here. I'm a bit blind. Unfortunately, my eyesight is apparently 20/20, but I like to differ. So I'm assuming that's probably 24, 25 plus for both Moonwalker and Evan, if that's actually possible in a game. I don't really know off the top of my head, but they both just had a heater there. I'm assuming
was
there's
a
going to be a
good
bit
map.
of a break here too in between the two maps. But that's Adrian getting their map pick. I mean, they picked the map for a reason. They're good at it. You see why. The retakes on defense were great.
Oh,
and
they're
even
beautiful.
the rotations on offense were very, very solid as well. So now you're going to have Ascent, which is honestly going to be a very similar comp from both sides, I would assume, from what we saw there.
There might be one or two changes. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's going to be pretty similar. I know Sova, Omen, Killjoy. You're going to see those three. You'll probably see Jets too. I mean,
I don't know if the new character is allowed to come in. I don't know if that's against the rules just yet.
The rules are on that.
But there is a pretty good Vice play on that round.
And it looks like we will have a bit of a break here. So we are going to toss it over to an intermission. We'll be back in a few minutes on the other side of this when we head to Ascent. Adrian up 1-0, looking to close out the series. Southern Miss looking to push it to Bind. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Yeah. Na, 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 na.
And we are back, just about ready to hop into map number 2. We are here on Ascent. If you were here for last map, it was 13-6 in favor of Adrian College.
Yeah.
They looked very, very solid. Defensive stands were great. Their retakes were impeccable. Their rotations on offense were really what gave them prominence as well on the map. But Ascent, a little bit different of a map. Of course, you're going down to 2 sites. That's like the main difference. But also, Ascent is like the default map of default maps. Like, this is the most default you will get of default of all time.
It's pretty default, and everybody, like, at this point, this map has been out for so long that everybody knows lineups, and there's more lineups being introduced with the new character.
There's some obscene lineups on this map that I hate. I'm like, why do you know this lineup? Like, you'll sit in the back of the map looking into like the stratosphere at this singular tiny rock, and it's like, oh yeah, and then this just hits in their spawn, immediately impacts everybody.
I see videos online where people are like, I can't believe this hit, and they're just like aiming it at like a cloud particle, and they just shoot it and it hits, and I'm like, are you serious?
Like, how do you even find that?
Are you serious right now?
We're not going to mention this, as we said at the end of last map. It's going to be a very similar comp. It is literally the exact same comp as last map, but instead of a breach, you have a KO, and that's on both sides. That's literally
They do have the exact same comp, which is crazy. I guess this is just meta. I've never seen the meta. I haven't seen the meta in such a long time. It changes constantly. I'm surprised we're seeing Jet still. Neon is more the meta nowadays, but I'm assuming she's not super meta on these maps. We'll see if we go to map 3.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. But look where Southern Miss is at. Looks like they're gonna push A.
They are not just pushing A, they are rushing A. They are stacking it. Although that KO knife from Moonkeeper, who had an insane map last map. It was like they were like 26-10, I think. They are going to immediately find out where all of these players are at, and there it is. So they're going to have to back down, or they're just going to have to just sprint forward, which either or is honestly a viable option, especially when you're in the pistol round. You have the ability to do either of those choices. But look, also, I want to point out on the minimap, look at number 4. They are going to be going for a huge flank, and they are going to cut Southern Miss off in about 3, 2, 1. And now you're going to see both players look to storm forward. As you can see, they're crouching to make sure they don't make noise, but ultimately it appears they got a bit of a mistiming, as the Jet will now reposition to middle, and the KO is going to shoot players in the back.
Yeah. So our duelist is down, and our Killjoy is just kind of hanging out over on the A side.
I just see them there.
Killjoy was just hanging out there, but it is a 5v1. Not anymore. It's flawless. Good round out of Adrian.
That round just comes down to that knife into the pinch. I mean, if you're Southern Miss, there's not a whole lot you can do other than, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but shoot them faster / better, I guess. That's like,
that's how FPSs are.
I mean, that's kind of general
that's an FPS.
But like, realistically, that's the only way you're really winning that round. Seeing that pinch is not always gonna happen. Sometimes you'll just kind of spidey sense it, and other times you just won't, and like, it's a toss-up, to be honest. And you're going to see the exact same knife come out. Evan's going to find first blood in mid over onto Chris with the...
No, we're bringing the marshals out. Oh.
And Moonkeeper with a Guardian rips 2 for Evan, 2 for Moonkeeper. And this is going to be another 1v5. Shots won't connect, but not do enough damage. Tida going to close out the round. Flawless back-to-back for Adrian. I mean... I don't wear a watch, and I just checked it. That was probably about a minute of time.
Yeah, I want to say I don't know like any good advice to give Southern Miss right now, because they did just get 2 flawlesses back to back. They need to be talking to each other, and I don't know what they're saying to each other, but if they are absolutely not talking to each other right now, I'm going to bang my head against a wall.
My advice is being listened to, despite me not actually giving it. It was go B and also lurk mid, because that is the only reason you have lost rounds, because you are stacking A, and when you didn't stack A, you got immediately gunned off mid. You need to be having control, especially on this map. You need control of mid. If you don't have control of mid, you are probably going to lose the round.
Yeah, there's two characters on both sides for each team that is good at getting intel and showing where people are, and that is Sova and that is KO, and they have them both on different sites, which is probably why they're there.
A lot of trades went through, but Southern Miss had an incredible push. It's down to a 1v3 for Adrian. That is massive, as we saw control of mid get gained by the Killjoy. They did end up falling, but regardless, that control was gained. The door was shut, and when that door got shut, there was a KO nade that got thrown right there, and that is what gave them the opening to just push straight onto the site. Kills onto the site came through. You got the plant, and now you're going to get the round as long as you don't give up another national catastrophe.
Yeah, a national catastrophe. I'm not sure. I think since this is just a 3v1, it would probably just be best for Omen to save his weapon and go away. Which, if Ken can cut him off, then that can prevent this Omen going into the next round with a weapon.
That might be the case. I don't know if Tida really needs to move.
No, Ken is going into the next
will
round.
Not connect. So Tida at least gonna get a gun off of Southern Miss as well. That was in the bonus. So going into the fourth round with that extra Vandal is going to be massive for Adrian, who have just been dominating the game so far. Although Southern Miss does get around there regardless, but I think it's safe to say that the control has been handed over to Adrian, at least for the time being.
Yeah, for right now. I guess for how I am with playing Valorant, when I play Killjoy, I don't lurk. I feel like lurking can kind of just really make you at a disadvantage if you're full rushing onto a site with only 4 people. A Killjoy can get those picks off, which is important in the long run, but if your Killjoy can't do much, then it's kind of upsetting.
And there's Tida with that one of those Vandals. I don't know if all of them have Vandals or not, but first blood regardless. The player that was there for Southern Miss was aware that someone was going to push through, but just didn't get the shot down in time. Tida will find a second onto Chris, although that's simply a trade, so it is a 4v3. Now there's going to be a player in tree. Sunny and Cookie going to find 2, so that's going to open up the site. Now Spike can go down. Mid is going to be where these players are pushing from, but the door does get shut down. So you're going to have to rotate the long way. If you are Adrian, this could be another round for Southern Miss. Alarm bot triggered for Sunny, and now they're going to have intel on where these players are at. And it's going to be an Odin in the hands of Prism. My assumption was that they were just spraying through the B wall, or B main wall, and that's why they have an Odin to begin with.
I love that that's so meta for Sova. I don't understand why it is. I get it with like the whole Sova Dark whip.
Stellar has gotten behind the generator and found 2. Now it's a 1v1. Time is dwindling down, but how did those kills even come through? As Prism just gonna hold the defuse for half, and now gets the kill. Is that defuse gonna come through? No, 1.56 yet needed for that defuse. So good round from Southern Miss, but it got way closer than it needed to there.
It definitely got super close. Unfortunate that the reload happened at such a bad time.
And I didn't quite get to see how the Killjoy managed to get the gen, but they just walked into the site and appeared, and maybe it was through a smoke that I didn't see, but it just feels so weird that they were able to get the gen with essentially 0 resistance when the spike was planted right there.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I might have to relook at that because I thought I saw Killjoy, but I think that was our Killjoy.
It may have been. It looked so weird from both sides of it. And Killjoy may have also just walked through tree and then gotten 2 kills rather than sitting at gen, because that would make that just wouldn't make sense.
There's 2 from Sunny. That's a really good beginning out of Southern Miss. Hey, that's a good Killjoy lurk. That's what we need out of this Killjoy.
And now the aggression from Adrian is being punished. Finally, Southern Miss are being a bit more aware now that they've gotten a few rounds under their belt. They're understanding where these Adrian players are pushing from, and that's going to be huge.
Yes.
Sunny finds a triple. That is a huge, huge set of kills from Sunny. That's going to open up the entire round, and looks like they're going to push A, where the last 2 players are remaining. Stellar going to stay alive, but last player left alive, so it's going to be a flawless for Southern Miss. They take their first lead of the series, finally getting things on track.
Giving them a golf clap right now. I'm very proud of them for that round. I'm very proud of Sunny. I'm very, very proud of Sunny. We've seen Sunny in the past not be able to get those lurks and do something with those lurk, and that lurk was just what they needed. They had him at a full disadvantage once those 3 players were down.
And I think a lot of that lurk is coming down to the positioning of Sunny. Kind of standing in the open in a lot of those spaces or playing a very predictable spot. And this, even though these are somewhat lower ranked players, they're still at this point very expected spots with how long this map has been in the game. Especially because this map really hasn't gone under any changes basically at all. So that's realistically, you're going to have to be a bit creative with your positioning. Evan going to find one. Ken, though, has stuck behind, so that's going to be a kill into Tida, and now that's going to be the A site opened on up. Spike should be able to go down here, and just repositioning where the plant will go, and it's going to have to be a 4v4 pinch for the side of Adrian if they want to take this round.
I'm so sorry. It's been a long day, but yes, it's a 4v4. I see we're getting a KO ult out of the side of Adrian. This is probably could make or break the round. He is down by Chris. Clueless Cookie getting 1, Prism getting 2, Ken getting another. It is a 2v2, and Chris getting the rest.
I got very concerned there when the KO pushed through tree and 2 players stood in a perfect
line.
That one
sometimes
killed both of them.
Sometimes the perfect line could be like
the lineup.
sometimes
they didn't get punished for it, but you do need to be a little careful now. Obviously, it's very you're not going to know that in the moment. Like you will never like even Radiant players in the moment are not going to always think like, oh, I'm lining up with a teammate. There's a reason we see lineups happen on occasion.
I do see that sometimes out of Southern Miss they will line up or group up together, and that does cause a little bit of their downfall. But hey, that lineup did good for them.
And now it's a 2-4 advantage for Southern Miss and on their attacking side. So very, very good work from them. They're almost at the same round count that they're above the round count that they had in the attacking side of last map. So they certainly are in a good position to continue taking this game. But now you're going to see a lot of mid control from Adrian.
Sunny.
Shots will not connect. Also, that crosshair I find very interesting.
I love that crosshair. It looks like a little flower.
As Ken going to find one.
Oh.
A quick trade, but the B site has been taken while that's going down. So another 4v4 retake net needed for Adrian here. Saw last round it didn't go well for them. Can they make it happen this round? You probably know where every player is at this point, or relatively.
Hopefully.
Every player is at if you are Adrian. I do see a Blade Storm popped out from the Jet, although they are insanely low HP, so you have to be very careful. Stellar only having a Ghost, so economy as well for Adrian becoming a factor. Chris finds Moonkeeper, Chris finds Tida. 2-for-1 trade, and now it's a 1v3, and Mochi will clean it on up. And now Southern Miss starting to roll.
I would not hate a timeout for Adrian here. I think they lost how many rounds in a row now?
I believe
5? 4, 5? 3 or 4.
It could be 5.
It could be 5. Can we press tab? Someone press tab?
Somewhere in there. We are seeing ultimates out from 4 of the players of Southern Miss. Every ultimate available except for the TP. And on the other side, you're going to have the TP and the Sova ultimate available. So
yeah,
looking into, just need to look at those as we continue on through these rounds. Cookie will get suppressed by that knife. That intel will be given, but maybe
definitely on purpose. It was definitely on purpose. You could see them just hiding that wall just in case they did swing and get caught off guard. But they did run back over to the B site. No Killjoy lurk. I am very thankful. Very, very thankful. But it seems like Adrian has not over-rotated. It seems, I think that Southern Miss is still over on A site, but now we're getting a little bit active here on B. We're getting a KO grenade. We get an ult out from our Killjoy, and it's going to get ulted by Sova.
Counter ult will at least take down the lockdown. That's a big one for Adrian. keeps them at least able to hold the site, but Prism will get taken down in the back of it. So Plant will go down. Spike now needing to be defused. But Evan just spraying through the wall, finds one. Now 4v3. Adrian still in a disadvantage numbers-wise. Evan and Moonkeeper, though, the two players you really want alive if you are Adrian. They have been your main slayers. Moonkeeper, though, will fall to Chris, and now you're seeing trades go abound.
Great crosshair placement.
But trades are not what you need if you're Adrian. It's a 1v3 for Tida, just jumping straight into it. Gets shot through the smoke, not a chance. 6-2.
Nope. Look at that knife. I love that knife. Oh my gosh. Like boops. There's the timeout out for Adrian. Probably very needed. I don't know how many times Southern Miss has won in a row, but it's definitely needed. I just booped the mic. They've been losing really hard. They haven't been able to get retakes here, and it's very apparent that this is probably not one of their greatest maps like Bind was. So, I'm not sure.
Oh, tab. Anyway, as we have about 30 more seconds into this timeout, or left in this timeout.
Yes.
What would you like to see out of Adrian to kind of bring this one back, ring it back in, rein it back in?
Reina?
Wow,
Reina?
my vocabulary.
Reina?
I need a thesaurus. But anyways, what would you like to see from Adrian to bring this one back?
I want to see better retakes from them. We saw on Haven. We saw on Haven that they had some really good retakes, and they wouldn't just go headfirst into a site without knowing where all of their other players are or where Southern Miss was. There have been a couple of rounds where some players have just gone straight in without knowing where anyone else has been, and that might be Adrian's downfall here. Especially.
It really does feel a bit disjointed from Adrian. We're seeing that a lot. And realistically, it can work if the skill difference is enough, but not in this lobby, and probably not most of the teams they play this semester. It's just not going to work. But look at that. Adrian just, as we're saying, to play together, they're just sprinting down B main. They want this fight, and they want it now. Evan's going to find Sunny. Prism's going to find Chris. That should be a Vandal in the hands of Prism as well. Now, bam, dash forward. I think that would be a dash backwards.
Dash forward.
Bit of a misclick, and at least Mochi able to get one back, stays alive, has a couple on the sights. Cookie finds another. Tida, though, with the Sheriff, going to make it a 1v3. Now 1v2, 1v1 from Mochi. Mochi a 4K. Omen versus Omen.
Mochi knows where this is, and can she get it? Yes!
Great play from Mochi. 1v3, 4K for Mochi. And I mean, great work from Adrian. They ran it down. They got the kills. You can't let a 1v3 happen. It's as simple as that. Unacceptable.
But that was a great round out of Mochi. Mochi knew where Adrian was at and was able to just get perfect crosshair placement. That was just really good. That was a really good round.
Very patient as well for Mochi in that one. That's realistically what's going to give them the round in that 1v3, isolating every single fight. And that's again what we were talking about. Adrian just running it down, not really worried about where their teammates are at. That's how a 1v3 happens, and you saw it right there.
Yeah, I don't know what they just did there. They all like grouped up at that like center thing, and then they kind of just moved out. Maybe that's how they start their play.
They're the plan on the little table there.
They were just writing it right there.
Wait, Sunny might have the perfect pinch, but no, it is sought out by Evan. I saw Sunny playing there, but now it might just be their demise, and it's exactly that. Not a terrible play from Sunny, but ultimately just got spotted out. Mochi will at least get a trade onto Stellar, so both the Killjoys out of this round.
Nice.
Also, Lockdown gets destroyed. I didn't even know one got played. Where
Mochi!
did those come from?
Mochi!
Mochi,
can we look at Mochi?
4K.
Look at Mochi.
As now Tida, last player left alive. Not gonna get KS10s.
It is 8-2. 2 more rounds left in this half. What do you think is gonna happen? Do you think Adrian will be able to get around here?
I just want to know where Mochi was. I looked away from the minimap for 2 seconds, and then I see a 4K.
Yeah,
I don't know what just happened.
I had no clue either. I wish Valorant had their replay feature out already.
12 and 5 from Mochi.
Wow.
Sitting also has the ultimate, and you're also going to see Ken with the Blade Storm.
This is a great half for Mochi.
And you could see there for a second the econ from Adrian just not ideal, and that's a nice way of putting it. Not really any weapons to go with. Is the game trying to bug out on us? Please do not Valorant. You can run on any device. Prism is going to be holding the angle. Ken going to need to try and take this space away. Prism will back down. Obviously does not really have a great weapon, as we discussed. 8-2. Good, big round for Southern Miss. And even if they can get the one after as well, I mean, that puts them at 10. Perfect position. Sunny. One. Again, a great lurk from Sunny. Now kind of getting into the hang of it. There is a trade that goes down. Moonkeeper will take down Ken. So you have a 4v4, but does Stellar get sought out backside before finding kills? No, one will fall. Prism's still back there too. Cookie at least gets a trade, but this player cannot find any more kills, and they do just that. Prism gonna get another 2v1 for Southern Miss. Or sorry, 2v1 for Adrian.
Now it's a 1v1. Omens against each other. Mochi at a higher advantage because Taida is very low. 2 health.
There it is. Turn is very unfortunate. It is now 9-2. Looking to make it 10-2 if you are Southern Miss.
Hey, 9-2. I'm excited. I'm excited. If this round goes, as we can see with their eco, they are able to get some Vandals out. So this round will be all Vandals, which is very interesting because I love the Phantom. But we're getting all Vandals out here, so there's actually one light shield, as we can see, so Moonkeeper is going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage compared to anybody else.
And personally, I'm also a Phantom user myself.
The Phantom is just a little bit better.
I like the Phantom a lot better, but I see why people that are way better at aiming than me want to use a Vandal. As Evan, with that Phantom, going to find one. So just kind of supporting our argument a little bit.
I didn't even see he got the Phantom. I saw all Vandals.
Phantom. So I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Suppress gonna continue to be a factor for a moment. Sunny gonna take down the counterpart in Stellar, and that's gonna be over towards B. So you're gonna probably see a rotation come through. The Sova should be watching mid, but actually gonna continue watching B main, and that's gonna be the KO picking up the mid lane, as the KO from USM, Chris, gonna be doing the same. Moonkeeper, though, looking to make a play. Both of them are flashed, but it doesn't matter. Moonkeeper finds a double. Sunny, though, finding another double to add to the triple kill. 2v2 for both sides. Now a 1v2, though. Taida gonna catch Sunny just kind of sprinting forward, and if you're Cookie, you at least have the spike.
Yeah, there is a ultimate out of for Adrian, but Cookie getting that kill off of Taida, but Prism killing Cookie, giving Adrian another round. 9-3.
Just like last map, but teams are reversed in this case. The attackers, 9 rounds taken, only three for the side of Adrian. Now you're 4 rounds away if you are Southern Miss from taking game number 2, sending us over to Bind, the decider, which should be decided. Will be decided on round diff.
If we don't see a 9-3 curse here, I'm not trying to pray for their downfall, but it happens.
It has to be. It's Valorant. You have to mention it if
it's Valorant. Everyone has experienced a 9-3 curse.
You have to mention it if you see 9-3 every single time. You can't. You can't.
Even outside of Valorant, I say 9-3 curse when I see it. So it seems like we're gonna get a Sunny lurk here on the side of A, and we have. That's Sunny.
Blood with 2 seconds into the round. How? Cookie at least gets a trade, but you are at a disadvantage if you are Southern Miss.
I totally forgot we rotated, and I thought that Killjoy was Sunny.
Who is Cookie, the only player onto the B site, but of course the cavalry will be arriving in just a moment. Weird interaction there for Mochi and Moonkeeper. We'll make it a 3v3. But players are on the site, so Cookie gonna have a lot of pressure to deal with. Does find one though. Massive kill from Cookie. That's gonna allow Mochi to now push on through 2v1. What could have been a really scary round, now gonna go the way of Southern Miss if they play their cards right.
They don't know where Stellar is, but they have spikes, so the only thing they really need to be doing is making sure this spike does not get picked up. And Stellar getting our Killjoy, and it's a matter of Mochi getting this.
Mochi has been clutch for a lot of this game, but It's just going to be a full rotation over to A, and I agree with that decision. You just need to move away at that point. You've been trying to go for B the entire round, and now you know it's a 1v1. You have the timing. Just go A, get that spike down, and then play, honestly, kind of play wherever. You could play in Hell, you could play in Arch there. That's what we're going to see from Stellar. I believe Sheriff was also picked up there.
Interesting backup from... Oh, I see what they're doing now.
Yep.
I was about to be like,
yeah, unfortunately, if you're playing Killjoy, you're playing for lineups 90% of the time.
I really wouldn't... I would have placed it and then ran. I wouldn't have just like, look what they're doing.
And that's going to go off. Should get the kill, actually, if it isn't misthrown, and there it is.
There it is. I feel like that those lineups are better for like Viper. For Killjoy, I kind of understand it because when you go to the spike, you can hear the little swarm grenades. So I do get it. I do understand, but that's a really interesting. I don't think I would have ever done that.
I've seen Killjoys do it, but it's a lot rare. I mean, typically you're going to see Sovas and Vipers be the one with lineups, and there are Killjoys that use a lot of lineups, but typically it's like pre-round getting ready to just throw Util into a specific spot that doesn't open until the round starts. It's pretty rare you'll see a Killjoy just go at the end of a round and toss something from the logo, basically.
Sometimes I do that. I find it quite fun.
Split push out from Adrian.
Hey.
And it looks like the main site is going to be B. You see the spike carrier there, but going to have a couple players over towards A that would be calling out that there's no one on site. I saw the drone just go through, but that bounce from Cookie should do a tiny bit of damage. I'd say maybe 10 to Tida, and that's about it.
It didn't hit anybody. Oh, it did hit Tida.
Yeah, it only took like 5-10 damage off, though. It wasn't anything too crazy.
There are 3 people hiding, and Jet took a little bit of damage there from that KO grenade. There's 3 people fighting here. There's 3 people about to peek, and there's 3 people hiding in corners. What do you think is gonna happen?
I mean, it might just be another bang out on the site. Chris has the flash ready, and perfect timing on the flash. Will end up losing their life, but the corner's not checked, the Cubby's not checked. Don't have a great weapon for it, so it will just be a 3v3.
Tida is so low. What is this?
And Tida TPs to try and grab a gun, but Cookie gonna find the kill while standing at the switch. Prism finding another, so we'll be right back to a 2v2. Bulldog in the hands of Cookie has an opportunity.
It's an interesting skin. It has like little bees on it.
And now with just 13 seconds left, Cookie, it should clutch out the near shots are a bit early, but regardless, it's not going to matter. Time not in the favor of Stellar. Has to go for the plant. Know exactly what's going down. That is right.
Hey.
That is a thrifty for Southern Miss. That's also their 10th round on the board. 3 away from forcing map number 3.
Yes. I'm hoping for a force here, but of course... we all want to go home and go to bed. Maybe that's just me. But I'm hoping Southern Miss can take this round so we can go into Bind. Bind is a really good map, and I think especially for them, if they've played it a couple of times. More than a couple of times, hopefully.
I've talked with the team about the maps they've played, and I don't really remember, but I feel like Bind is on that list. From what I had heard, Haven was a map they really haven't practiced at all, so
that can
could probably explain at least a little bit of why the scoreline was the way it was.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing them come back on their map pick here on Ascent, and you can kind of, you can tell each team wanted their map pick.
Yeah, they want their map pick, and this is the third map pick was just based off of elimination. So let's hope that they play pretty well on Bind if they win this map.
Round dip is going to come to be important here. Mochi can find one. Mochi finds a second. Walk just gets to walk straight onto site. Those players were, I believe, flashed. So realistically, you kind of can walk at them without them knowing. Stellar and Tida, though, going to clean up some kills. So Southern Miss does need to be a little bit careful here. Ken just going to hop up onto the gen. You're not going to see this one coming as Cookie finds the other. 11-4. And if Southern Miss can win the next 2 rounds in a row, they will get, I believe, side pick on map 3. And that is huge, especially as we've seen, the first half has really determined the outcome of both of these games.
Do you think what was the end score of the last game?
It was 13-6, I believe, 13-7.
Interesting. Okay.
All I know is it was not as close as, or it was closer than 13-4.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, how does it really determine who gets to pick it on the third map?
The team that has the better round diff gets to pick the side.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. But it seems like Adrian is going to go mid here.
Mid feels like it's been almost fully unused this entire map, which is kind of weird because you'll usually see teams look to get control of it so they can force the rotation if they need to, but it really hasn't been a factor a lot in this map specifically. But now you're going to see Cookie throw down the shock arrow. Should do a little bit of damage though. It'll be Ken picking up first blood onto Prism. So the defense again finding another first blood. And that was a problem that we saw Southern Miss have last map. Chris finding another trade. It does get traded out, but regardless, the plant can't come through now. There is one player on A site, but they're definitely a bit wary to plant it. And there's a lot of reasons that is the case. Tyda has to back away. Ken finding another, and now it's going to be a 1v3. Stellar has essentially 5 health. Actually, it's going to be 11. Won't matter. Ken finds a third. Now one round away from picking your side on map 3 on Bind.
Match point. There's the new Vandal. There's the new Vandal skin.
I haven't.
Go.
I honestly haven't casted in about a year and a half, so there's a lot of things I haven't seen.
There's a lot of new things that have come out, like Cookie's knife and that new Vandal that Cookie just picked up. They're pretty good. They're pretty good here. It seems like the Jet on our team is giving up their Vandal because they have knives.
Well, I also saw Ken has an operator or an op, so that's also probably part of
Do they have an op? I couldn't see that.
An op and knives is some criminal work, but you're gonna see 4 detected from the knife, giving them a bit of their own medicine.
There it is. I did not see the operator, so that makes a lot more sense.
I saw it like the last second. If we could, actually no, we don't need to because Ken's gonna be playing a bit passive, so. No reason to see the op when it's probably not going to be used for a little bit.
We know it's there. We know it's there. We just got a kill off of it just 2 seconds ago. Seems like Adrian is holding off their push here, causing Southern Miss to kind of rotate over to the A site. We're going to get it. Never mind.
Debating on where to put it. But
Debating on where to pull it.
You can't put it anywhere now when you're suppressed. As the knives do come out for Ken, so the op just in the back pocket right now. Still got all 5 knives to work with here. As you're gonna see Adrian rotate over towards mid. It's gonna be a lot of work for number 8, who is the Omen of Southern Miss, if they decide to try and attack this one. But it looks like they'll stay patient for now. I believe that's Mochi on the smoke or on the Omen. Although the Sova also going to have some work to do. I believe that's going to be Cookie as the Killjoy comes out, or the lockdown comes out from the attackers.
It is going to push off Southern Miss, but now they can get an easy retake here. Can Mochi get one?
There, but I mean, you still get one, so you get your one. That's at least helpful.
That's enough, because now it is a 4v3. Nope, 3v3. Sorry.
Prism going to take down Sunny, so a little bit of work to be done. Moonkeeper, though, keeping Adrian in this. The knive's going to come into play here, but it won't matter. So that's going to be an ultimate off the board. But if you win this round, I'm pretty sure the round diff is still in your favor. If you, I don't know what happens if you tie, because like that's so possible.
For a tie, you have to be up by 2.
What? No. I mean tie as in like round differential tie. For maps or side pick. Oh. Because if you tie, then
is it down to like is it down to the kills?
This is why you just let the teams pick the sides.
I agree.
Because like why is that?
I thought it was a coin flip. I genuinely think it's a coin flip.
I think it goes to a coin flip if they're tied. I think that's what it goes to.
Because in League of Legends, it's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's all over the map right now.
Spike not even in the hands of any player either. They're just waiting to rotate it around to see what the play is from Southern Miss. They want to get intel off the defense first and then play around that.
It's just we're watching this nothing.
my assumption on first point of contact, it's either going to be the Sova Omen over towards A in tree, and actually will be just that as Tida
Trigger.
finds Ken. Clueless Cookie going to get the trade onto Tida, but again, a re-push through tree going to allow Prism to get the trade. Now that's going to allow Diffuser or Spike to go down. Stellar going to back on away. Mochi gets sought out by Evan, who's holding an op. Don't know where that came from. Attacking op even. As Evan finds a second onto Chris, Moonkeeper will get the third.
This is definitely now it's 6-12, so Southern Miss takes it. Well, just like you said, it might just have to go down to a coin flip. Mochi, our team calling a timeout, probably for the best. They need this round. They have no ultimates compared to Adrian's 3 ultimates. So this is going to be a little bit interesting.
And you also saw there, Adrian just took, I think, 3 rounds in a row, 2 or 3. So especially in the situation you are for Southern Miss, you're 1 round away from winning the game. You don't want this one to slip away from you. So you simply just hand this off to a timeout and then go from there. Kind of just calm it down, stop the momentum from Adrian, and regather together, figure it out. Realistically, it's not the end of the world just yet. But when you're starting to hit that 12-8, 12-9, you're starting to get a bit sketched out on what the plays are going to be.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do here. Southern Miss needs to get this round if we want to go to map 3. But if they keep letting Adrian do what they're doing, it might not end up that way.
So we are heading out of the timeout now. We'll have a few seconds before we get back into the actual round. But regardless, you're still only 1 round away if you are Southern Miss. Just continue playing your game. Just be patient. Let Adrian come to you. You have no reason to be forcing the issue at all. And realistically, that's what's also going to give you the win. The gun skill, I find, is a bit even between these two. So there's no reason for you to realistically cause any trouble when you don't need to. Now we are into the round. I'm aware you can only see us, but I'm going to at least try to cast it based off of what I can see on the television here, as that's going to be first blood for the attackers. Now it is a 5v4 in favor of Adrian. So good start for them in this round. You're going to see a Sova arrow or shock arrow do a little bit of damage to those players in B main.
This is quite awkward.
I do see a trade come through. That's a Bucky that I'm seeing. I haven't seen one of those in so long. No, I didn't know people still use the Bucky, but there it is. So that's going to be a trade for Adrian.
There we go. We're back. So sorry about that. Now we're back in it. It's still the same round. But yes, Bucky, people use the Bucky all the time, and it makes me angry every time they use the
I haven't
Bucky.
seen it in so long, but again, I haven't casted this game.
People don't like to use what is that type of like gun called?
Shotgun?
Yeah, shotguns. They don't like to use shotguns that much.
Well, yeah, because shotguns are so cheesy. Stellar does find one on to a player I've already forgotten the name of, but they're running out of time. There's 10 seconds left in the round. Prism will at least get the plant down, but that got way closer than I realized. As Sunny gonna have to get with Mochi here, try and make a play off of it, as Cookie will at least find Evan. So now the retake is very possible. This is also a save round for USM.
Yeah.
So if they don't win, it's not the end of the world. They'll at least be able to buy next round. Moonkeeper, though, doing a great job of playing around the generator. Flashes, gets away. Spike slowly running out of time now. Mochi will find one, but again, immediate trades. Adrian doing a good job in the trade game, but it is a 2v2. Make that a 1v2, and that will be a winning round for the attackers once more. 7-12.
I like to see that Adrian is playing really well right now, even though I am, of course, Southern Miss. Adrian is playing really well, and you could see that they are learning from their mistakes from the first half, and they're playing well, and they got so many good rounds in a row that that Southern Miss needs to evolve. They need to know their strats and understand what they're doing and make some slight changes.
We'll see what Adrian is going to go with this round. I'm pretty sure that the past 3 rounds that they have won, they've gone to that A site. But it looks like they're finally going to change some things up. Not that they weren't going to be. They were showing a lot of presence at B, but then kind of rotating after they were getting pressured. But now it's going to be a bit of the... Actually, no, they're still going to be. Still showing presence there. We'll see if they decide to rotate on out this time around. But there's only really one player here. There are two, but you can shut the door. Not sure what the timing would be of that. Cookie trying to get spots with the drone.
Couldn't
finally
get much.
only saw a couple shoulders, but that's gonna at least force Adrian off of the site, and now they're gonna do what they've been doing. Works for them. Just rotate through mid because no one from Southern Miss has been watching the middle of the map. And then just rotate through, get the tree, and now retake A from there. A lot of these rounds too have been coming down to the very last seconds when it comes to the plant. So that's something that we'll likely see again here. Stellar, though, gonna get picked off by Mochi. That's a massive kill. Mochi dies there. That opens up the entirety of A and would likely have allowed Adrian to get a plant. But now everyone from Southern Miss is rotated to A, and there's no one on B. So Adrian is recognizing this. Now Southern Miss trying to retake it, but how much are they gonna get? Shot not connecting. Tida will still fall, and Chris ultimately saving Southern Miss in this round. Finds a triple kill. Honestly, kind of lucky if you are Southern Miss. Now there's no time on the clock. Flawless Southern Miss. 13-7. It will be Adrian pick for the side on map 3.
Map 3. I'm so excited. This could go anyway. So that was a good map out of both teams. I'm so happy to see that Southern Miss was able to do really well. Mochi at the top of the leaderboard, 22 and 13, with Evan 16-17 right behind Mochi. What a great game out of both of these teams. I'm glad to see that Southern Miss was able to kind of hold themselves on this map. Like we heard before we got onto the cast today, Cookie was like, "You're gonna see a better game out of us this round." And I was like, "Hopefully," and we saw it. It was really good. The first half of the round was really good. And then the second half was just as good.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell it was a lot more practice of a map for them. It was a bit apparent on Haven that they weren't 100% sure on what they were going to go for. So I like to see that they had practiced on that map, and it looked like they were more of a collective there. Obviously, they're going to go back and look at Haven and kind of figure out what they want to do strat-wise for that.
Yes.
So that will be it, though, for map number 2. We will catch you guys back here in map number 3 when we're ready to hit up bind for a decider. We'll catch you guys on the other side when we're ready to hit up map number 3 on bind. And we are back for map number 3. We are going the distance, everyone. We have Bind as our map choice, and I see that defense has been chosen for Adrian, so USM will be starting off on the attack for the
third round
in a row.
for the third time.
Yeah, they are doing a lot of attacking. I mean, so is Adrian, but they are doing a lot of attacking, getting every single round possible of attack.
Yeah.
It's what, 12, 14, or 24, 36 total rounds of attack. You don't get to see that every day.
Nope.
Absolutely not. But we'll see what they have brought together here. Again, Haven was a bit of a weird map for them. It felt a bit disjointed, uncollected, and we kind of saw that as the map went on. Ascent was a lot better of a look at the team. You can kind of tell that they looked like they played the map multiple times. They really had an idea of where they were going to go. Now, what are we going to get out of Bind? Who knows? Neither of us have really talked a whole lot to the team about these maps, so we're not 100% sure. But Bind, another not default map, but
It is a default map.
But yeah,
It is 100% default map. It's
at
a
the same
default map.
time. It is.
I wish that they would take Ascent and Bind out because it's been played so many times. I'm actually sick and tired of the
Honestly,
demo.
has Ascent, I mean, I know Bind has, but has Ascent ever even been taken out of the map pool ever? Because I don't think it has.
I think it's been taken out once.
Wow.
That I can
Whopping one time.
that I can recall. It got taken out. I know that Bind has been taken out, and it was, I think, just recently added back in. Or not,
Yeah.
not like recently, because I know recently, what map just got taken out?
Probably the box. No, the box.
Pearl? No, Breeze. Breeze got taken out, and I was so thankful. I was so
Breeze
thankful.
is like the only map I've seen so many people just have disdain for. It is so funny.
The new map that just came out, Abyss, people call it the new Breeze because it's just as it's bigger
Yeah, and you can fall off the map.
and you can fall off the map. I'm like,
I've seen a little
Riot
bit of it,
Games.
but I haven't seen like anything too crazy from it. And I'm like, who is this map designed for, and who designed
pro
the
players, Riot Games.
Like, I don't even think the pro players like it. That's the problem.
But they're playing on it, and
Well,
they're
they don't get a choice.
like,
They can't just say no. They ban it. At most.
Alt F4.
All 10 players on the main stage at
Alt
TT Champions
F4.
all agree to just close out the app. I mean, they do what, best of 5, I think, for finals. So yeah, I mean, imagine a finals reset. That would be ridiculous if they did that, which I know they don't. That's like a Call of Duty Halo thing. If you win the first best of 7 or best of 5, best of 7, you have to play another best of 7 to determine the winner if you came from losers bracket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, that's
I
so
should actually
annoying.
mention
I would be so annoyed if I had to experience that just to win, just to win again.
I've seen best of 5s in Rainbow. That is the epitome of torture.
Let's see what they're going to pick. I'm assuming Cypher. If I don't see a Cypher, I'm going to blow up.
Oh, we're gonna see different comps, by the way. We saw the most default in Haven Ascent, and now
I'm going to blow up.
the actual comps.
I'm going to blow up.
And it looks like we're gonna see a Raze, Killjoy, Gecko, Viper, and that's a Deadlock, I think.
Clove.
No, Clove.
Clove.
Character I have not seen a lot.
I love them. I love Clove.
And then on the other side, you're going to have a somewhat similar comp. The main difference being the Brimstone over the Clove, which simply just a smoke exchange.
Smoke exchange. There is, I guess, as we've seen with, Killjoy is being changed out with Sova. I think personally, I like Clove better than Brimstone, though Brimstone does have some buffs to him. Clove is essentially just another duelist. And that's what really makes Clove different than any other controller, because Clove has that revive, that personal revive as their ultimate, and can really just clutch rounds. But there are times when you do revive and you don't get the kill, and then you just die.
That is absurd that there's a self-res in the game.
They added it because there's not really many res characters.
Yeah, it's just Sage.
It's just Sage. So now that Clove has a self-revive and the new character Vice has a wall, Sage is now completely useless.
Oh no. Anyways, we're going to see a sonar arrow go down. Not going to detect anything, but certainly will be taken out. believe by Southern Miss. I had to remember the teams. They are flipped on our overlay here. We can flip those in a minute. As it'll be hookah control for Sunny. Ken already on site. Chris going for the plant. You're gonna see two players caught in elbow, but there's a clove right there. We'll see if that ends up meaning much. It's gonna be Mochi getting a 1-for-1 now. Southern Miss need to be aware of that, but the rest of the team of Adrian gonna be pushing through the main side of CT.
Oh.
Headshot connects, but it's not a great gun, so Evan will at least get the trade. Actually, not a trade. It is a 4v3, so simply just gets a kill. Diffuse gets poked. Clues Cookie looking to go with the pit, and it will at least connect, do damage, help get the kill. Cookie finds a second. Evan gonna get one with the Sheriff. It's just chaos at the end of this round. Shot for Evan, connects again, needs one more shot to get stuck reloading.
And Cookie was so low.
I believe that kill comes in. It doesn't matter, I don't think, time-wise, but
What?
as in the defender, I don't think they would have had enough time to defuse anyways.
Yes.
But regardless, that was very at the end of the round. Also, Cookie ended up dying, so every player on the map was dead anyways.
But Southern Miss does have a little bit of an advantage as they did win the round and they did get the plant off, so they do have a little bit more creds going into this round.
That's going to be huge, especially seeing how last map went. I think they started down by a few too, so...
What is happening here? Can we please look at...
As we have completely just missed the entire round. That was 4 kills right there. Now, I mean, a flawless from USM. It was just a bang out A mid, or A lane. Unfortunately, we missed that entire thing, but that's a great A bang out if I've ever seen one.
I wish I could have seen that.
Very unfortunate, but I mean, the mini-map...
The minimap is there for a reason.
Well, no, you couldn't even see anything on that. Like, you could. You could just see, like, 10 or 8 players, I guess. 8, 9 players stacked together in the minimap, and just everyone disappears.
They just, like, head first went together. Like, it was
How did
two
DJ
forces.
Get a kill out of that?
I do not know.
And now it's going to be another shotgun pulled out from Ken. Oh, man, that's a bit unfortunate, but it'll be Moonkeeper and Evan finding 2 on the other side. That's going to be a long. And now a 3v5, and it's looking like Adrian might finally get a round on the board. I say finally, it's literally been 2 rounds.
Oh! Sunny getting one, not getting the other. What is... Oh.
Ken looking to
Genuinely...
bounce back in. Whoa, look at the aerial time. Ken making it look like Rocket League. His Moonkeeper will at least get the trade.
I looked up for a second, and I don't think I knew what I was looking at. All I saw was just someone staring straight down, and I was really confused.
I saw the bounce pack get thrown out, but
Oh.
some crazy Raze movement.
Here we... Adrian getting their first round of this map. It's pretty good for them. They need it. They are very low on creds, so this does probably even out the board for all players.
Especially in their bonus round, they kind of needed to win that round. It gets really sketchy when you go down 3-0. It just snowballs, and you could
There's
lose a map
the new
right then and there.
knife. It's a new knife. It's a butterfly knife.
But it's closed right now, which is not fun.
I hate it. I would... Well, butterfly knives really don't really open. It's open.
As we're gonna see, I would assume a sonar. And there it is. It came in really slow though. That thing was moving at half a mile an hour, if even that.
It like moved 2 frames per second.
Yeah, that thing was very slow. Not going to connect on anything, but of course still gives information. Flash from Gecko going to come in. That's going to be Crisp tossing that one out. Now I'm going to see Mochi grab the ult orb. Just 3 now away
From a self-res.
and that's huge, especially in the closer rounds that we have seen a few go down.
Do you know much about the rest of Clove's like abilities?
I'm assuming the E is just going to be 2 smokes. The C might be flashes. I could be wrong on that. And then the Q looks like something similar to the Gecko.
So her C is when she gets a kill, she can do, it's like overheal.
Okay,
It's an overheal for her. And then the Q for Clove, that is kind of like a decay. So once they throw it, it
Yes.
hits them and it
That's what I
decays
wanted to
anybody in
say,
that room.
and my brain could not process.
I could tell you were having like a hard time picking it, but
Mochi's gonna get
Gecko ult.
detained, but realistically, I don't think that'll lead to a kill because it's just so far out. As everyone else is dying anyways.
Yeah.
Moonkeeper does fall, so that kill certainly will not come in. As Sunny gonna finish out the round 3-1. USM looking good on bind so far. The attacking side.
Yeah, they're looking good.
Their wheelhouse.
They're looking good. There's the other I love that butterfly knife. RGX, the one that they. So do you know the RGX blade? It's like a sword.
Yes.
They came out with another part of the bundle or another bundle with this butterfly knife, and
when
people
I say
love it.
open on the butterfly knife, I mean that, like
Yeah,
little
spin,
I know
the
it's not
animation.
technically opening a knife, but that's how my brain sees it.
Sunny has a lot of bright skins.
And look at this Southern Miss knowing
Oh my.
that A site should be at least somewhat open now, considering they've gone to B a few times in a row. Moonkeeper, good jiggle peek, but could get pushed back by both the Viper wall and by the little
They're gonna
name.
get a fight here in Lamps. Ken winning it. That's actually pretty good for them. It clears out that area, but Stellar is gonna come in to go hopefully kill someone there, and
fight.
it does kill Ken, and we're having a fight here in Showers.
The fight I was looking at was U-Haul, and it looked like Adrian did get that kill, but I don't know if that pinch can even come through. It's going to be the Viper looking for it. I don't know what they're going to be able to see here, though, as they will get a kill onto Chris. This flank being watched by Cookie. Evan gonna fly out with the ultimate, though. RPG gonna get a kill, but it's still Southern Miss controlling the kill game right now. A 1v2 for Evan. Ultimate has already been popped, so we'll make it a 1v1, though. And what's the timing gonna look like? Shots through the box is not gonna connect. No one can get some shots in range, but doesn't matter. Spike will blow up. Evan will simply just carry the Phantom into the next round.
Yes, that's pretty good for Evan since he doesn't have to like buy a new gun. My brain is moving so slow today. I'm trying so hard to wake up. But as you can see, Evan has a new weapon coming into the next round that saves good money for if they want to possibly get an operator. We've seen Evan with an operator before, or a marshal. It was one of those two. Both. Okay, both. Good. But Southern Miss does have 4 ultimates.
Also, Mochi 1 ult point away, so they're like, Southern Miss might just go straight for this ult orb and try to grab it, but Tyda has other plans for it. Tyda grabs it, Mochi falls, Chris will at least find a double though, so the trades are through, and it might be the round that goes to Southern Miss based off of that. It was a rush for the ult orb. Now Lil Bro is gonna plant the spike, but Moonkeeper Prism find 2. So it's a 2v2 on this round, which
With the same agents too.
really interesting.
We're getting a Viper ult here.
The pit has been popped. The flash is going through, but gets shot immediately, so won't connect onto anybody. But Chris just doing their best to keep it down, and Lil Bro's gonna miss hitting the defuse onto the spike. So now we'll be 1v2 for Moonkeeper. It'll be close. Cookie grabbing that kill, and now 5-1. Southern Miss building a lead and keeping it with it.
Cookie getting that kill was perfect, and Cookie popping that ult was even better. That really just what they needed for that round. And now we're going into the round with 4 ults again.
And I think that also took away from the sightline to the spike. So when the opposing Gecko, the Adrian Gecko, threw Lil Bro, he could not find the spike because he was just simply lost.
He was simply lost. A Gecko probably didn't aim correctly towards the spike, and also our Gecko put Mosh Pit down, so he was kind of it was a whole situation. If
there's an ordeal, varieties.
Oh, so much stuff. The problem with having sentinels and like controllers, they do too much.
Ken pops the ultimate here, is not going to find anything with it. Mochi will get first blood, but Cookie gets traded out. Mochi finds 2, Chris finds another. So on the site, that's going to be a lot of kills going down. Actually, that's over towards Shower, the TP that the kills go through. Now it's going to be a 2v4. Spike is planted, and Adrian are getting shut down every single round here. Ken might even be able to catch one off guard in U-Haul. Looks like that won't be the case, but certainly number 7 will be right there.
Yeah, we're seeing a peek out of the smoke, getting one, Sunny getting another, and then killing the last with the swarm grenade.
And looking at it, after they pushed out of the smoke, the swarm grenade didn't even look like it was connecting with the Sova. So I don't know how it gets the kill. But
There's like a radius. There's a weird radius.
Yeah.
Look at the little omen dancing on the ground.
And now it's going to be a timeout from Adrian. And yeah, they kind of need it after these first few rounds. Southern missed. To be honest, they're walking forward A main and then just getting all the kills.
Yeah.
Or they're walking forward B main or B long and getting all of the kills. So you have to be a bit careful if you're Adrian. And I do see them trying to play around that ult orb a lot in B long, but it's just not working. They're getting the ult orb, but it doesn't matter when you die and then lose the round. That's just not helping you.
It's unfortunate because there are some good ults on the side of Adrian, and they're actually going into the next round with 4 ultimates under their belt, and there's some pretty good ones. A Brimstone ult can really just set in stone like a sight. It can clear people out of sight. It's just they need to play it to their advantage, and that's just not what they're doing.
The orbital strike is one of my favorite ultimates. It's a giant laser beam from the universe, from a different planet. It's just blasting basically an entire site.
What does he say?
Reach for the sky or something? That might be
That's
Woody.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, that's Toy Story, but like I know it's something from the sky. I know it's adjective from the sky.
Yeah.
Or verb.
But I know after he kills someone in that ult, he goes deep fried.
It might be like look for the sky or something like that.
I am not quite sure. Someone correct us.
Evan will find one. I just did see the ultimate from Chris not connect on anything, but that can be picked up. Oh, there goes the other one. Those ultimates are crazy. They scare me every single time I see it. It's
it is a
giant
jump scare.
triangular shark throwing itself at me. There's the orbital strike. Ken gonna find one. Tied to Evan though, looking to find a couple more. Evan makes it a triple. That's a 3-piece. Looking for the biscuit. Not gonna find it for the time being, but that spike is down 1v4, and now you're getting pinched. No way. Not a single right to get that kill, but still managed to find it.
Unfortunately, I think when Mochi dies here, yes, even though Mochi does have the ultimate, the spike isn't planted, so they can't ult off of that. So it was an unfortunate situation. Mochi died there, but if the spike was planted and Mochi died, then Mochi would have came back.
A pit available for Stellar as well.
Yeah.
Might go to use it on this B site. That's probably why they're here.
Open the sky.
Open the sky. I knew it was something the sky. I couldn't remember what. The sky was doing something, and I didn't know what. It could have been falling. It could have been walking to a different direction. I don't know, but apparently it opens.
Reach for the sky.
Yeah, I was thinking of Toy Story. So you're going to see the Viper, okay, immediately throw the pit. But look at these players from Southern Miss. They're actually over towards Hookah. So they may be able to just avoid this pit entirely, and that would just be a very unfortunate misplay. Not necessarily a misplay, but
It's actually pretty good. If you throw the Viper Pit as soon as possible, it can cause the team from going to that site. However, it does cause them to rotate, so it doesn't really do much. But if they do try to continue pushing B site, let's say, then they would be at an advantage because of the pit being there.
Absolutely. It's just a bit unfortunate that Southern Miss planned to not go B long where the pit was placed. So they can still, it's still helpful, especially off of post plant. It's mainly post plant.
But as soon as Southern Miss rotates and the Viper gets out of the pit, then it's just gone.
Prism and Evan, though, on the other side, finding kills anyways, so looks like it might not even matter at all. What happens to the pit? We spent so much time talking about it, and now everyone's just dead. So Cookie at least going to have a small lineup there for one of the not pits, but one of the grenades. Prism goes for the pinch. Cookie will get taken down. Spike does get planted there, but it's not looking like it'll matter. Mochi's the last one to fall, and that will be a defuse. Adrian gonna find their third, and I believe that's 2 in a row.
The pit there was actually so useful as it did make Southern Miss back off, and I do apologize for that. it did cause Southern Miss to back off, and they did try to go to B, but then they were like, it's not worth it. And then they went to A, which caused Evan to get a couple of kills, which really just set in stone that win for them.
And slowly, you're seeing Adrian come back. We have 2 more rounds left in this half. 3 more rounds left in this half. We'll see what Southern Miss is able to do and see if Adrian can make this a 6-6 half. If they can make this a 6-6 half, that is huge for them, considering they started down 5-1, I think. So you're really thinking if you are Southern Miss, you need to at least grab 1-2 more rounds. You don't want to have that draw going into your defense. Not that it's the end of the world, but you had such a big lead. It might not matter. Mochi at least going to get the self-res, but Evan does still get Chris. So
they're going to back away from Mochi because if Mochi doesn't kill someone in a short period of time, then Mochi's gone. Mochi does get the kill, but does get killed by Evan.
immediate trade.
An immediate trade after that ult.
It will be down to just Ken. And now if you're Adrian, you are in a great spot to tie this one up at the half. For a half you realistically had no reason to be tied with.
Yeah, what a great round out of him. I will not lie. The Mochi ult was kind of needed as it did cause a trade to happen there, but it kind of just seemed counterintuitive because of the fact that there was a trade and Mochi did die in the end. So some might say that was a wasted ult. Some might say it was perfect for the round, but they didn't win it. So I kind of think it was a little bit of unfortunate ults.
Yeah, and it was a tough situation. You're in shower, trying to push out to the entire site to get a kill. And especially when the other team knows that, they're going to be watching those angles.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's kind of tough, but Chris will end up finding first blood. So Southern Miss going to have an advantage here. If they can even win 1 round, they will have taken the half, and that's huge, especially from your attacking side. Chris now launching in Lil Bro to plant the spike. I keep wanting to call it the diffuser. This is not Rainbow Six Siege, but he's going to get taken out. Chris will now have to plant the spike themselves. Ken at least finds Prism. Stellar going to get a trade, though. Spike does get planted. It's a 4v2, so this should be another round for Southern Miss. Here comes the stun from Lil Bro. Not going to find a thing. Sunny going to get the kill on Dida. Now 1v4 for Moon, or 1v3 for Moonkeeper.
Yeah, it is. Where is Gecko? Oh, he is in, what's that called? Elbow. He's in elbow right now. Can Mochi catch him off? No. Moonkeeper killing Mochi. They know where Moonkeeper is at, but can Cookie and can Sunny kill him?
They're not playing across here, so they're isolating the fights, and that's exactly why you can't allow that to happen. Moonkeeper gets very close, but there's time very slowly.
Oh!
It will be Sunny grabbing the kill. Knows Moonkeeper has to just push the issue there, essentially. So now Southern Miss gonna at least have an advantage going to the second half. It will be the last round before we swap sides, and Southern Miss heads to that defense. Adrian heads to the attack. 7-4 Southern Miss.
This is a close game, and I fear this is going to be a very close game at the end of the. What am I trying to say? It's gonna be close. It's just gonna be really, really close. This is the last round before the swap, so we're not getting a 9-3 here.
Yeah, first for this series, thankfully. I feel like the 9-3s are quite boring, but sometimes they're not. It's pretty rare, though.
Ooh, Evan with the jiggle beak, seeing 3 down the side of Belong.
What matters, Cookie finds one over towards A. That's actually going to be a kill right outside of U-Haul, so Southern Miss going to have the player advantage, but for how long? As I see a fight going down, Cookie will get the second. That's A completely wide open, but the entire team is on the other side. They're just gonna hit that TP, now rotate on over. So the spike should get planted here. It'll be Chris that's holding it, just making sure no one's around, and that's gonna be the plant coming out. So 7-4, Southern Miss looking to make it 8, and they are in a perfect position to do just that.
Yeah, we're getting, look, based on the positions on the map, I guess the Killjoy on our side is trying to teleport over to join the fight. This, as you said, the spike is down, and there's only 2 people going to do something, but
every ultimate's just getting tossed.
Every single thing is being popped. This is the last round.
Yes. So
And
Prism,
there it is.
yeah, Prism and Stellar didn't really have a chance there. I mean, you have the lockdown from the Killjoy, the Raze RPG coming out. You even had the Gecko Ultimate coming out just for good measure to make sure that they were
Make sure
stunned
no
up
one
too.
pushed. Yeah.
There's not much you could realistically do there. So 4-round advantage for Southern Miss. And they are in a great position to take this series away from Adrian and start 2-0 in the ECAC Group E division or Division E Group 2.
What a long name.
Yeah, and the names aren't distinct. It's just letters and numbers. It doesn't help me at all.
Yep. So, of course, we did get a side swap. So this defending, as I say all the time, is the easiest part of Valorant. So this could be an easy win for Southern Miss, but as we saw in the last game with their best map, they had a hard time defending.
Look at Chris just tossing that flash out as quick as possible, trying to get some space, grabs the ultimate orb, backs away. Could have been scary if you want Adrian pushing up a bit more aggressively like we saw Southern Miss do so many times, but ultimately it will be a B hit either way for Adrian. Now you're going to see the mosh pit go out. I don't think it did any damage, but you're going to see a flash again come out. Cookie now trying to get with Chris over towards elbow. That's going to be your main source of attack, at least to retake this site. Tida finds first blood, and Cookie can't handle the strafe. Now everyone from Southern Miss falling. Only one kill for the Golden Eagles. It's going to be a round for Adrian as Prism closes that one down.
That's such a hard spot to kill right there, where you have that long positioning and you're on like an incline. It's just a height advantage. The two people peeking Sunny was unfortunate, but it did set that round for Adrian, and I believe they might do something different here. As we see the Gecko going over to like middle of the map. There's not really a mid on this map. There's no mid, so I just say the middle of the map since it's not mid.
I take that as like the lane that goes to hookah. That's kind of to me like mid.
Okay.
It's like the mid area because it's about the
the
closest.
area, yeah. It's like because there's just no mid.
No.
It's like what's that one? Fracture. Fracture has no
Yes.
mid.
Fracture has
It does kind of have a mid,
no mid.
kind of, but not really.
Yeah.
But it seems like Adrian is going hard push on A.
The shorty out from Ken in U-Haul. This is a recipe for disaster for Adrian if they aren't aware of it. And there you go. You're going to see it. Shorty doesn't get the kill, but does a lot of damage. It will be, though, Adrian, the team that has more players alive, and it's exactly that. Now, one player left. That's Cookie. Not a chance to win that round. Now it's going to be their bonus, so they should be able to pull this one out as they will have the better weaponry this time around.
It is 6-8, very close. Southern Miss 2 points ahead. Can they like regain that lead? Do you think that they can regain that lead, and how do you think they should do it?
I think Adrian definitely can. I think a lot of it comes down to this round specifically, what we're going to see from Evan and probably Prism. Evan, again, having a big game, 19-9. The duelist really the catalyst to many of the plays that Adrian has. It's usually those 1, 2, 3 pieces from Evan that start the round that open things up so much. You're seeing the rest of the team also push through bathroom, so that is going to open up some spacing, pushes USM off the site as well. We'll see if they're able to make a play off it. Chris also on a long flank. We'll check in with them in a little while because that could be the playmaker. If not, it's just going to be Ken. Finds 2, traded out by Stellar. But what can Adrian find is absolutely nothing. There's going to be one player left alive. That's Moonkeeper inside of U-Haul. Not a chance to survive there. Chris will get credit for that defuse. Now 9 on the board for Southern Miss.
Hey. Good round out of Southern Miss. They played really well, played together. That's what I like to see, playing together. And they genuinely were able to communicate really well. They were able to get their shots off. You saw a lot of good util being used. I'm really proud of Mochi right now. Mochi's doing really well in these past 2 games, and it's really just helping the team out so much.
Absolutely, and there we saw Ken be the catalyst. As I was talking about the duelist on the other side, it's the duelist of USM that makes the play happen, gives USM the round, and now again a 3-round advantage. We're still seeing Ken pull out these shotguns. It's going to be the judge this time around, a bit more creds to work with. Although we're seeing Adrian kind of back away from the U-Haul side of the map. They just want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And they're going to go through bathroom. You're going to see also on the attacking side, number 4 there, the Rays, up in Hookah. That's also going to be with Moonkeeper. We'll see if they're able to make any noise over here and see if they can kind of draw some Southern Miss forces away. Moonkeeper, though, huge pick onto Chris. That's a great opener, especially taking out the Gecko, who has so much util to work with. And Moonkeeper actually had the spike. I was like half paying attention to that. I didn't realize it, but spike now planted. All of USM going to have to rotate over. Cookie, though, will find Stellar through the TP, finds Evan as well. Moonkeeper, the last player left on site. Adrian gonna have to rotate on over.
The Brimstone just chilling out.
That's Moonkeeper dead, so that could be a defuse. It's all gonna come down to what this player in Hookah is able to do. That's Tida, and what information does Southern Miss have? They're checking everywhere, can't find anyone, but it doesn't really matter when the smokes are going down. Tida, though, will take a Cookie, so still very possible for Adrian to win this round. Mochi gonna run it down with Ken, although that defuse will come through. Tida doesn't check
One
in
bullet.
Ken just ripping the head off with that judge.
Oh my. That judge really did something there.
I mean, when you're getting sprinted at by a Rays holding a judge,
Yeah.
your best option is to run the other direction, and since you get slowed when you get shot, really not possible.
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry. Here we are, 6-10, 3 more rounds to confirm their win for this series. I genuinely believe that they can do it. This is looking very promising. Their teamwork is there. They have 2 ultimates, and one of them is a res.
Ken also 1 ult point away, so a kill will give that ultimate over to Ken. Going to be very helpful. Usually, I mean, the Rays ult is you either get 4 kills or you get 0. It's very rare you get in between for some reason. That's just how the nature of that ultimate.
Yeah.
But the self-res will be there for Mochi. So at least 1 ultimate online. You're going to have also the pit available for Cookie. And Ken, yep, there it is. The judge just going to do judge things. Going to be the judge, jury, and executioner. Now here's the executioner part of it. Ken 180s gets that kill. That whatever that switch was, it did not like us.
And there we go, another round for Southern Miss.
Now 2 away from taking game number 3 and taking the series.
Very happy for them right now. They're playing really well. That round took what, like 5 seconds?
It was very short.
It was a very short round, and of course, we're getting a timeout from Adrian. Probably well needed as they are down almost 6 points, 5 points now.
Especially, you do not want that round to go on because with the momentum and also with the weapons, because I'm assuming it's a save round. That's just usually the nature of your timeout. You take it during a save round, and then you allow yourselves to save, kind of make up the strategy for when you buy in the following round. Anyways, you want to also take this timeout here because if you let USM win that round, you're taking your timeout when it's 1 round away from losing the game. So
Yes.
like that's not ideal circumstances.
Yes.
So that's why you take it here at 11-6. Now, is there much Adrian can do here? I don't know. They don't have any ultimates online. Actually, they do have 1 ultimate that's going to be the orbital strike. So it's at least a really strong ultimate to have if it's the only one you got. But realistically, your guns are just not great. So.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that they can do pretty well here as we are going back into the game in a couple of seconds. I hope for the best for both teams, but a little bit more for Southern Miss.
I don't see Southern Miss losing this round. My main way of them losing this round would be if that orbital strike catches the side of Southern Miss off guard and they kind of just get stacked upon and die. 4 of them die in an orbital strike, which would just be like a clip and a half for literally anybody, even a pro player. So
That was an interesting summit art.
it was. I don't know where it was going.
You know that one movie called Your Name, and it's like the little...
I don't really watch movies.
Anyways, I'll show you it later. But as we can see, we did get a Viper ult out here for the side of Southern Miss, so it's popped. It's preventing the team from pushing any further on the side of, and there's that ultimate. Open the sky. As it did, that ultimate did do a lot for them, so we see the entirety of Adrian pushing onto this site, and only 3 players from Southern Miss are trying to rotate over to get a good retake. Spike is planted. What should Southern Miss do?
I mean, you're all stacked in a place where everyone knows where you're coming from. Mochi will at least have the self-res, so that's going to be helpful, but we'll have to see if the kill comes through. And it doesn't even matter.
And that was like a split second, all 3 of them died.
Yeah, they all died in the same instant, so never mind. That's a huge round win for Adrian as well. I don't think their buys were great, so that's massive. Actually, it was a flawless, so we'll know what they had, I guess, kind of. Regardless, that's basically a necessity to win that round. If you go down 12-6, I mean, you're just going to struggle bust your way to a tie if you can even get there.
Yep.
Now you have the ability to kind of keep building off of your round win in that one and keep going forward, but Southern Miss still has good buys, so you have a little bit more econ to work for, or to work out if you are Adrian College.
You can see that Adrian is about to do a split push here onto B, some going into, I can't remember what that's called. Is it called? Give me a second. I'll think about this. Oh,
Ken is in such a ratty spot. We'll see if it ends up meaning anything and if it gets checked. But I mean, it's a judge, so you can be the judge, jury, and executioner if you really want to. And that's exactly what the goal was, but doesn't quite go through. I mean, you only realistically shoot 1 bullet, so it's not going to do much. But still, backing away now, the rotation onto A is through. Sunny needs to be very careful here, getting collapsed upon. But Mochi has a repinch that could go crazy if the timing is right. Sunny should be able to find one, does. Looks for the second, gets it. So it's not even going to matter for Mochi as Sunny ends up swarming their own teammate. Mochi will still find Stella regardless.
swarming spike. There was swarming spike there. Is that called hookah? Was that what I was trying to figure out? That spot right there, hookah?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I knew it was hookah. Anyways, good round out of Southern Miss. That is a flawless. Absolutely flawless. Sunny getting that double there really just set that round in stone. The spike being in the corner, she had good sight of it. It was just a good match out of that one, and it is match point.
Yeah, match point, series point. If you are Southern Miss, you're in prime position. You have all of the econ you could want. No ultimates in the pockets to work with, but you shouldn't need them, at least right now. You do have 2 ultimates if you are Adrian to keep yourselves in this one. Silver Dart, they're going to let that go. Cookie has no need to shoot at it, and that will at least give information to Adrian, but if you're Adrian, you have no clue, but there is an Odin just waiting to mow your entire team down. You are playing in a corner. This might be worse than a judge.
Oh my goodness, the wall doesn't even...
This is ridiculous. Chris may just have the play of the game, but just sitting there waiting for everything to go through.
Waiting for this wall to go down. There's
now the Viper picks up, and there's one.
There's 2.
May even have a third, trying to figure out where the spike is to defuse it, but it doesn't even matter. You can just hold down left click.
None of those bullets hit Evan.
We're gonna see the lockdown go through as well. So that will be game.
That's
Southern
game.
Or almost had 3-2 as if this is a best of 5. Oh man, we'd be here all night if it was.
I would absolutely